Cece here. Okay, so I wanted to talk about why I love Lord of the Rings so much. I know this might seem a little random on my channel because I don't talk about Lord of the Rings often, but it is a huge part of my life, my personality, who I am, blah blah blah. And it's a video I've actually been wanting to make for a while. I'm laughing because all my friends and stuff think it's like so nerdy that I love this so much, but you know, whatever. Anyways, Lord of the Rings has taught me so much, I feel. And that's what I mean when I say like it's a big part of who I am in my life and everything like that. It has taught me so many philosophies, so many deeper meanings than, than the surface of what people see. Most people I know don't even really like Lord of the Rings. They're like, oh, I fell asleep during that movie, or oh, so boring. It's whatever. And it drives me nuts. I'm just like, how do you find this deep movie, book, story, everything so boring when it has so much meaning to it? Some of you may have noticed my tattoo. It's a Lord of the Rings tattoo, if you don't recognize it. It is an outline of the necklace that Arwen gives to Aragorn, and to me that resembles loyalty. Her line, I know this might sound so cheesy because it's like a romantic thing, but her line that says like, I'd rather spend one lifetime with you than face all the ages of this earth alone. Oh my god. I mean, that's such a deep love. And not even just that, like she's willing to basically die based on her hope. She doesn't even know that Aragorn's alive. She doesn't know that he's gonna survive this journey, that he's gonna be king. She has no idea of what could happen. All she sees is the possibility of a future with him, the possibility of a child, and she clings to that hope. And I think hope is such an important thing for people. And I know it's so painful when you realize you were clinging on to some false hope, which is what her father was trying to tell her. Like, you don't even know if this is going to happen. You're holding on to something that's not, set in stone. And it didn't matter to her if it would have been false hope in the end, because what mattered to her was that she didn't give up, in a sense. She didn't give up on him. Another thing I learned from Lord of the Rings is friendship. Friendship means so much to me. Sometimes I give way more than I get in a friendship, and that's not a problem to me. I mean, that's a lie. There are times, where I feel kind of down and insecure, and I feel like, wow, I would have done that for them, or like I did so much for them, and they did this to me, or they stabbed me in the back, or they hurt me, or they weren't willing to do this for me, even though I've done blah, 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 blah for them. Those are natural, normal thoughts. But on top of that, I also feel like if I really break it down and look at it, I have no regret for anything I've ever done for any friend, no matter how much effort I've put into even the friends that have truly hurt me. And I feel like that when I look at Sam and the way he gives to Frodo. Frodo doesn't have much to offer him. Frodo has this huge burden of a ring of evil, around his neck. It's weighing on himself, on who he is as a hobbit. I was gonna say as a human, but as a hobbit, who he is, inside. Like, this ring, this journey is taking so much out of him. There's not much left for him to offer Sam, but Sam sticks to him no matter what. And when I talked about Arwen willing to die for Aragorn, it's the same with Sam. He was willing to die for Frodo. He was willing to, fight a cave troll for him, and, willing to run up after Aragorn before they knew who he was and attack him with a sword, and, all for Frodo. And then in the end of the first movie, Sam almost drowns himself to get to Frodo. He doesn't care how stubborn Frodo is. Sam is just as stubborn. Sam is like, I promised to go with you on this journey, and I'm gonna see it through. He did not care that Frodo was halfway through, the river, and hobbits can't swim. And Sam jumped in the water anyways, threw himself in there. He's drowning. He is literally drowning for Frodo. And, of course, spoiler alert, but whatever, this movie's like a million years old. Frodo grabs him and pulls him out of the water. But that scene touched me so much. I was like, oh my gosh. And I love that. I loved Sam. Sam is my favorite character. Not only is he loyal to Frodo, they call him later on Samwise. Samwise, or that's his name, isn't it? Samwise Gamgee? But anyways, he's wise. He is wise. There's one part where there's a lot of parts actually, where Frodo was ready to give up. Frodo was like, I'm done. I feel nothing. There's nothing left in life. Blah blah blah. I give up. And there's one scene in, I believe, the second one, when Faramir captures Sam and Frodo. Frodo's giving up hope. This is after Gollum starts becoming good again, but then it's reversed. Because of Faramir captures them, it hurts Gollum. Gollum feels betrayed. He stops progressing and starts regressing. And, it feels like all this hope is gone. The orcs are taking over, and they're under attack, and the Nazgul are there. And Frodo has this long frickin' speech about talking about fairy tales, but in reality it fits to their story, and like if you look at it, it fits to us too. When he says, the stories that stick with us are the ones where they didn't give up, they pushed, and they held on. And Frodo asked him, he's like, what are we holding on to? And Sam says that there is still good in this world and it's worth fighting for. And I love that, because in real life we see so much pain and hurt and cruelty. We see humans cruel to other humans, and humans cruel to animals, and humans there's so much cruelty in the world around us. But it's important to remember that there's still good in this world, and like he said, it's worth fighting for. And, you as a person could go through shitty friend after shitty friend after shitty friend, but that doesn't mean that the next person won't be a good person. You got to remember that there's always good in this world. And, Sam portrayed that, expressed it so beautifully. Oh my gosh. What else? Oh my goodness. Merry and Pippin. I kind of look at them the same way as I kind of look at Frodo and Sam, except with Frodo, like I said, Frodo doesn't have much to offer Sam, and Sam is just 100% loyal to him no matter what. Merry and Pippin, they're like the ideal best friends, of course. I mean, aren't they they're like distant cousins or something like that. All the hobbits are basically distant cousins. But anyways, in the final movie, in the last movie, when Merry goes into battle, he gets hurt, and he's laying there, left on the battlefield. You see Pippin, going through all these bodies all over the floor, and he's looking for Merry, and he finds him. And Merry says, are you going to leave me or something? And he's like, no, I'm going to look after you. And he covers him with his cloak and takes care of him. And I was just like, it's these moments really, I don't know how to explain it. They really resonate with me. They really touched my heart. And Merry and Pippin are definitely another image I look at when I think of friendship. It's how I want to treat my friends. And and like Sam, regardless if I get anything in return, I want to be that good person that would be there for them regardless. And I also look another friendship, Legolas and Gimli. You know, it's kind of funny to look at them because they bicker so much and they make fun of each other, but it's their differences that had them apart and in the end brought them together. And my favorite line was when Gimli, I have so many favorite lines, but one of my favorite lines was when Gimli says, I never thought I'd die standing side by side with an elf. And Legolas says, what about standing side by side with a friend? And I was just like, and then another thing I really like, this is all, a big part of it is all speeches and learning lessons, life lessons. Gandalf. Frodo says, I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish this had never happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And Gandalf says something along the lines, so do all who come to see such days, but that is not for us to decide. What's for us to decide is, but that is not for us to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. And that can be applied to so many life issues, problems. You could feel like, wow, I lost my job, I can't believe this happened to me. And of course, you have every right to be upset about, outside conflicts affecting you. Things that are out of your reach, things that are out of your control. You have every right to be sad and upset about it. But it's important to also remember that anyone and everyone is dealing with something. And of course, none of them would ever wish to be in that position. But all you can do is worry about yourself. All you can do is worry about your next action, your next move. What you're going to do with the time that you have here on this earth. What you're going to do with the time you have right now at this moment. Ah, Gandalf. One more speech that I really liked was Aragorn's. In the last movie also, when he takes the army to the gates of Mordor, basically. And he knows that Frodo's already there. They just want to give him that last chance, that last moment. And he gives a speech, and he says, there may come a day when the courage of men fail. There may come a day when, he's basically saying that there will be days, there will come one day when men do wrong, basically. And he's saying, but it is not this day. And he says, today we stand, we fight. And that scene when he turns around and he says, for Frodo, and they all run, oh my god, I wanted to cry. And they all, charge and fight. Oh, and the battle scenes in this, Peter Jackson executed them beautifully. In terms of The Hobbit, I'm not as big a fan of The Hobbit as I am Lord of the Rings. I read The Hobbit in elementary and I loved it. But the Hobbit adaptations into movies were less serious, in my opinion, so it didn't touch my heart the same way Lord of the Rings did. It was entertaining, it was fun, but it wasn't as emotional for me as Lord of the Rings. And, maybe it's a generational thing, maybe it's because I grew up with Lord of the Rings and not The Hobbit, but it just didn't resonate with me the same. So I try to live by some of these things that I've learned from Lord of the Rings. I try to live, remembering what Gandalf said, all we have to do is to decide what to do with the time that is given to us. Or that other popular quote, not all those who wander are lost. And then it also, there was another quote, I can't remember it word for word, but it's in regards to Aragorn. And it's talking about how he's a king, even though he may not look like a king. He's a ranger, he, is scruffy, dirty, he's fighting. And it's saying he doesn't need to shine to be golden or something like that. And these are things that I try really hard to live by. And I think they're really important lessons that you could learn from Lord of the Rings. And I'm not saying, you know, you're gonna solve all your life problems by watching Lord of the Rings and understanding these deep meanings. There's so much more to life that is outside of this, but it is a big portion of what I like to live by. And yeah, I've been wanting to express this for a very long time. I've wanted to explain why I love Lord of the Rings so much, and there you go. There it is. All right, I hope you guys enjoy. Please comment down below whether you like it, whether you don't like it, why you do like it, why you don't like it. And if you are a fan of Lord of the Rings, tell me what you think of those moments that I brought up. Tell me if there's other moments that resonated with you. And I want to know. I want to know. I want to meet more people who love Lord of the Rings the same way I do, or love Lord of the Rings to an extent that I do. Share your thoughts, please. All right, have a great one. Bye, guys.